Welcome in, everybody. Foot's here, and I know it's been a while. It's been so long, apparently, I had to clear the dust off already. I've already recorded most of this video with my mic not even working. I am so silly. I guess that means most of my recordings don't even end up unscripted because I have to run through them multiple times to get through it. Alright, well anyway, first topic of discussion, Guild War. I've already started one. Let's do defense first. Guild War is a pretty basic system, but it does have a lot of niche tips and tricks that you can really use. In a Guild War, there are 3 lanes of 10 positions, with the Guild Crystal being the final spot. The Guild Crystal is a magic-grounded beast that is also male with neutral resistances, and its HP is based on the Guild's cumulative 3-day experience gained. And that's the Guild EXP, not player level. Years ago, this actually used to be challenging, but because of stat growth and power creep, pretty much any heroes with gear can just knock this out in one attempt. Killing the Guild Crystal used to mean a lot more. We have a lot of things on the UI here, but in the bottom left, you can see the Guild Battle rewards. This will explain why it's important to clear high percentages. You don't necessarily need to 100% clear every Guild War, and I sure as heck don't for my own sanity. Once we down a Guild Crystal, I'll usually make the call to either push it to 60 or 70% threshold for those extra rewards, especially now that everybody needs guild tokens. This booklet shows the guild battle history, and I'll show you a look at the player. It's pretty cool. So you get this little history display. You can play it through, but it takes forever because it goes one at a time. But you can just drag these sliders here as well, and it looks pretty silly when it all comes said and done. But so they pierced my top and bottom row. But then when they got to me, something interesting happened. They actually tried me twice, but couldn't knock me out. So we have a restore, hit, and then we get the little animation when you get to the end of it. But try again, buddy. Now, to his credit, on defense, the defenders get a stat bonus depending on your rank. And as Jarl, I get the most, a 50% bonus, as you can see here. My units get beefed up. Co-Jarls get 40%, and then everybody else, all the yellow titles or untitled, get a 30% stat boost while on defense. If you're a Jarl or co-Jarl, you can edit your map and declare wars as well. I would say having 6 heroes per lane in the back is pretty standard. When you're scouting, you're only able to see the first 4 columns of the defense, so hiding all heroes is a strategy. That way you don't reveal any of your power to the enemy. There are different ways to think about this. You can also put your strongest member within the first 4 columns to let a guild know this is how strong we are, so come challenge this if you dare. There's also that kind of psychology to it. This little guy with the shield behind him is how you change your defense team, and whenever you make changes to your arena team, you should be making them here too. Make sure you're on the right loadout, the right expertise page, and have these units geared immaculately. These are the units that represent your account. Alright, I think that's every note on defense that I wanted to cover. Now let's go on to offense. So now we have a few more needed a drink, running through these scripts multiple times, harsh on the voice. Anyway, the yellow up here is your action points, and they will recharge over time. The pink is your skill points, and that's how you use your supporting skills. We'll just use Lupus to take that out since he can one-shot it. I'm just trying to show you the different skills here. We use One Punch Man to take out the Vitality Wall because he's otherwise useless. If I were to use the Restore Action Points skill, this will immediately refund me 1 AP without waiting the 3-minute timer. Also, when you use this Restore Action Points ability, if any of your guildmates have that timer on cooldown, it will reduce their wait time by 1 minute, as it is stated here. You can see. And every Guild War, you will get 1 Restore All of your heroes. Try to make sure you're taking out a unit or 2 before you go through and use your restore. It's possible to take out 4, 5, 6, 7 enemies in a guild war by yourself if you have good teams, and you can use that restore all at a good time. Okay, so now the most important tip that you're ever going to learn for guild war, and that's resetting. As a defender, the only advantage they get is all stat boost. As the attacker, you get to reset infinitely, theoretically. I just did this when my mic wasn't working earlier, so I'll show you. Celestia is going to live, and this will prove the point. We're going to let everyone else die. Alright, and even that's a little loud, don't you think? Alright, anyway. Let's say the Guild War didn't go so well. You're nearly wiped. You didn't get any kills. What you can do is just hit the pause button and quit. As long as you have 1 hero alive and you have the manual time it takes you to move your finger or mouse to the pause button, you can reset without losing any of your heroes that died in that battle. So, Celestia is still alive. I'm going to pause and quit. Effects of initiating the battle will not be missing text.exe. I don't know. I never realized that text was bugged. As you can see, there was no history recorded, and the 4 units that died in the previous attempt, I can use them again. If you want to be efficient, reset your Guild War attempts and try to one-shot people. If you're gonna let a battle go through, make sure you at least kill an enemy or wound them enough to where the HP regeneration outside of combat won't basically restore them to full health. That's a whole nother thing to get into, but it's pretty technical. But anyway, those are some nice Guild War tips. Now out of Guild War and into Gildra. Aegir is their Gildra boss this time, and she's kind of a pushover. Her gimmick is to not use male heroes, but you can kind of get by that if you can just keep them quicked. And also, if they don't resist gravity, you can kind of get by that as well, because quick exists. But if you're going to bring males that don't resist gravity, then you might need to start to reconsider, because they will just be ridiculously slow and probably not be able to action skill. I'll go over 3 picks that'll probably be more helpful to you, and that is Konohana Sakuya. She's a great pick for an all-ally skill gauge. Even though she's not gravity, she can get off her AS frequently with skill gauge boosting and quick. Senia is a great, more easy to obtain hero, although I'm not sure if she's had an opportunity to get her in the past 3 months for newer accounts. But 3 ally quick is not bad. And she resists gravity herself. Velfel is still going to be usable here. All ally berserk and quick. You can kind of see the trend here. Velfel doesn't resist gravity herself, so she'll also need to be quicked. If you're really having trouble, narrow it down to females who resist gravity. And start here. Now it just goes to show you how much this level of CB has been power crept, because I only have 2 ranked that actually are intended to be brought to the fight. Female and resist gravity, and Moonsort's just Moonsort, so that's the thing about ranked usage in 9 stars that are in the Gildra rotation, is they get updated very frequently every time. This ranking got updated multiple times over the past few days, and I believe Senia was number 1 before this Gildra at like 38%. And now she's down to 21. People bring their strongest units and just bring straight heat to Gildra, so you know these ranked are going to be what people are actually bringing. Anyway, if you're struggling, bring more quick on your equipment, bring more skill gauge openers, and manual your fights. If you notice your units are wasting action skills at the end of a bar, then just manual. Your runs will probably be faster. If it's not conflicting with any taught build that you have, I would also recommend that you push every unit to 1000 spatak, or at least 500 spatak. But dealing that extra 10% damage in PvE is a huge deal, and every one of my loadout has 1000 spatak. Lastly, in today's video, let's go over the scenario events, because they just dropped 5 at once. Who does that? Also, I've completely missed recording anything about the Colosseum. Hopefully you participated in that. Although the usage was limited to the scenario heroes pretty much only, hopefully you got enough currency to buy another conflict piece out of it at the least. Real quick, the Mikagura CB has 51 in usage, which is pretty good for 9-star. The Ascended Shears are another pretty good thing to farm, just like the Earth Blade that just came out. It'll hit twice and self-quick and ignores barriers too. You'll definitely want a lot of these. Just mostly bring light and a little bit of fire. At this stage, you should have no problem have farmed up your Tifa a little bit. If you're so new that you missed out on Panda Girl 11, that's a little unfortunate because she's a great hero to use on this one. Yeah, why don't we just go ahead and max Tifa out? I forgot I purchased the rest of her boost in the shop. Yay! And I hit 100 high boosts. I gotta figure out who to put that into. Okay, well, back to scenarios. Make sure you're capping out your Tieva. You can make sure that you got the 100% completion reward by seeing the clear in the top part here. And if you notice any of these was missed from being 100, you can just simply click on the chapter name here to immediately jump to it, and that works for every scenario. Usually one scenario at a time is a pain, but this will burn your stamina if you want to get through all 4 of these. If you're a new account and haven't done any of them, then it is good to try to do them. The general power creep of the heroes that you probably have available will just shred most of this stuff. But do your due diligence and make sure that you've got these completed if you want all the loot. I've now got 2 5-stars of this, which I had 1 4-star for the longest time because this event was actually too difficult back when I first did it years ago. I actually posted on Reddit for help on some of these. That's how difficult they were. One last thing that I can touch on is this event boost score attack. These can be stamina heavy too once you're optimized and are clearing within 1 to 3 seconds. They are highly worth it. So 4 seconds, I actually need to check this and make sure that it can auto it in 2 or 3 seconds every time, but this amount of rewards for 4 seconds and 30 stam is pretty good. But anyway, we'll leave it there for today. I've had a long week with a sick kid and new part-time work. I can never stay away from Valkyrie for too long. I still have so many guides to be producing, and I'm getting to it chip chop. But anyway, thanks for watching. Until next time, Foots out. Cheers.